Your voice, your opinion, your community. Fact TV, free speech, protected.
Will any of these movies make it into theaters this year?
Are there any new ideas for horror this year?
And will these movies just keep getting pushed back until, COVID is done?
All this and more on Gory Storytime.
Warning. Gory Storytime is a horror movie review show by a son and his dad who thought that letting his 5-year-old watch scary movies was acceptable. If you are offended by horror or talk about blood and gore by a child, or if you don't want horror movies from the 60s through today spoiled, then there is a remote stuck in your couch cushion next to potato chip crumbs. Use it. And of course, parental discretion is advised.
Why? You didn't use any.
Shut up and start the show.
Welcome to Gory Storytime. I'm your host, Jason.
I'm his co-host and his father, Craig, and also welcome to 2021, which is going to be very different from 2020, as you can tell by the fact everything is still...
No, we kicked into high gear. People are rioting at the Capitol.
Yeah, but that's not this show.
No.
Quickly to answer those questions. I hope so, not enough, and probably. Anyway.
Yeah.
Match those up if you want. This is our annual first episode of the year that we've done for the last few years, where we talk about upcoming horror movies for the year.
Yes.
These are just ones that are announced. We've got a couple that are tangential, but we'll explain as we go along. And instead of our normal most loved scene and most hated scene or whatever.
We have our most and least anticipated movie on the list.
That's how we're going to do it. But because we're that way, we're just going to start with the trailer for, one of the movies. Because we're not going to make Colin play a trailer for all 10. We'd never fit it into a half-hour show.
Nope.
So how about this? Play the trailer for one of the movies we're going to preview today.
What do you got there?
Oh, it's just my wife, Emma. This is my son, Charlie.
Enjoy it while it lasts.
While it lasts.
Nothing happier than the wife of a new detective.
Emma's cool, man. She's different. You don't know my wife.
You give a woman 600 Tuesdays. It ain't worth 3 Saturday nights.
How much money you got? A lot. How many problems you got? A lot. How many people done doubted? A lot.
All available units, officer down.
Pray that you flop.
Detective Banks en route. Whoever did this has another motive. They're targeting cops.
This shit's gonna go sideways fast.
Someone's out there pulling all the strings.
You wanna play games, motherfucker?
As you can see, Colin didn't vet the language of the trailer. There is a Green Band trailer. This was not it. Oh, well. We'll try not to cuss the rest of it, but oops.
But whatever. If anyone's going to, it might as be Sam Jackson. Might as well be Sam Jackson.
I mean,
right?
You don't see Sam.
He's the guy.
You expect it out of him. I mean, even when you're watching Marvel, you're like, where's all the MFs? But anyway,
that are on set.
Before we get into our preview of movies that are coming out this year, and a lot of them you'll find were supposed to come out last year, but the country got shut down, we have to pay our bills. And for those who are new to the show and don't know, and for those who aren't new to the show and
Do know.
yeah, I'll give you all the same information. How do we get paid? Well, we don't do it by coming into our local TV channel for free every week. No. We get these high paying
class
companies to pay us to promote their stuff.
Yeah, this right here is why we sleep on beds of cash and tuck ourselves in with $100 bills.
We swim through coin vaults like Scrooge McDuck. That's what we do. But
That's
anyway.
how we get here.
Oh, yeah. Just like everybody at Fact TV.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this week, our real products that you can actually purchase.
Yeah.
Gory Storytime is brought to you by Progressive Scares, Inc., the first movie production company that only makes horror films with a PC message. Jump at the horror of the dead naming. Shield your eyes from cultural appropriation and be shocked at the evil that is straight white male. These films and more coming soon to On Demand so we can stay socially distanced.
Oh my goodness. And by Double Entendre, the new novel by Richard Long. Follow the story of Virginia Lips, a woman who notices everything around her seems to represent something more than she believed. When she gets a hard pounding on her door, she finds it's a private dick named Peter Johnson, who volunteers to help her get her final piece of the puzzle. With twists and turns, Double Entendre will excite even the most vanilla readers. Oh.
So,
oh my.
Let's start. You could say that novel starts the year off with a bang. Anyway. That was so stupid.
That was very bad.
All right.
I mean, no, we love it and give us your money.
Oh, it's too late. Like we cashed the checks.
We cashed those checks.
So we're just gonna go through a list of 10 horror movies that we got a little bit of research here on, and then we've got a few bonus ones that we're gonna talk about, but without as in depth. You go first.
All right. Candyman, directed by Nia DaCosta and written by Jordan Peele, Wynn Rosenfeld, and Nia DaCosta. Oh, written by Jordan Peele, Wynn Rosenfeld, and Nia DaCosta. Candyman is a sequel to the original 1992 Candyman film that picks up in real time, decades after the events of the first film. The film follows multimedia artist Anthony McCoy, whose obsession with the now fully gentrified
Cabrini Green
site of the infamous Candyman murders begins to take an entire life of its own.
Now, quickly, they do say that this movie is going to be it's a sequel to the first one. They're skipping over to second and third one. I hate when they do that. You know how I felt about when they rebooted Halloween and said it's a sequel to the first one. They're no longer related and all that.
Yeah, and rumor has
and they had
they're
already
doing that.
retconned that series once by saying, what was it? H2O was a sequel to 1 and 2, but
and
not
3, 4, and 5.
Well, 3 wasn't part of
Oh, yeah, but not 4, 5, and 6.
Right. So
and then Resurrection retcon stuff that happened in H2O.
Well, no, it just said what you saw wasn't quite it.
And then 40 years later retconned all of it.
Yeah, the point is, I don't like when they do that. Hopefully Jordan Peele will do good. I liked his first horror movie. I didn't like his second horror movie. I loved his comedy stuff when he was on Key and Peele and even Mad TV. So, and I haven't watched any of the Twilight Zones that he's done for CBS.
I heard it's good, but it's on the CBS All Access, and we don't have that.
Right. But I will say this. I am looking forward to seeing what he does with it. I hope he makes it worth my time. I mean, the other sequels weren't that great, so I'll...
So you'll give it a chance, seeing as you didn't like them?
Well, it's not that. I still don't like the idea of retconning it. It's like, sorry, if you went down the tubes with your sequels, you shouldn't have authorized those sequels.
Wow.
A Quiet Place 2 is my first one. The teasers hint that it's the remaining Abbotts will have to leave their farmhouse sanctuary and venture out into a world made hostile not just by flesh-eating monsters, but also other humans who have been severely damaged by years of this ongoing trauma. It will feature the same original cast, including flashbacks of John Krasinski's character.
All right. My second movie, the trailer we showed, Spiral from the Book of Saw, starring Chris Rock as Detective Zeke Banks, whose current investigation will possibly lead all the way back to the first movie. Chris Rock isn't just starring in his first ever horror movie. He is actually a longtime Saw fan and the one who came up with the concept of this movie, Spiral, as well as writing the story's treatment. The film takes place firmly in the Saw universe, but it isn't necessarily a sequel to Jigsaw.
But it is related to all of those films, because those movies are all intertwined anyway. Number 4, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, also known as The Conjuring 3. It's the newest installment of the popular supernatural franchise. It's the 8th film in the whole universe, counting the Annabelles and the Nun.
And all those other side quests.
Yeah, side quests. Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson are back as Ed and Lorraine Warren. The Conjuring 3 follows the infamous real-life 1981 Arnie Cheyenne Johnson murder trial, which was the first time in American legal history demonic possession was used as a not guilty defense. The Conjuring 3 is directed by The Curse of La Llorona's Michael Chavez, and Conjuring franchise founder James Wan has signed on as producer. The Devil Made Me Do It should hit theaters and on demand in June.
Yikes.
Some of these we don't have the dates. Some of them the dates keep changing. So
yeah, Morbius.
If we say a date, don't hold your breath.
Yeah. Okay. Morbius tells us the story of Michael Morbius, Jared Leto, a human-turned bloodsucker thanks to the side effects of a cure for his rare blood disease. Unlike Marvel's daywalking vampire Blade, Morbius has none of the qualities we've come to expect from the supernatural species other than super strength and extreme bloodlust. Co-starring Matt Smith as Morbius' best friend, Adria Arjona as Morbius' fiance, and Jared Harris as Morbius' teacher. Morbius will be part of the Sony Spider-Verse like Venom.
Don't Breathe 2, which we actually did the first one on this show. A lot of them, like we've done The Conjuring, we've done Saw, so...
We haven't done Candyman.
We haven't done Candyman.
No.
Have you even seen it?
I've seen it a couple of times.
Anyway, Don't Breathe 2 is the sequel to Don't Breathe, which introduced us to Norman Nordstrom, a blind veteran rumored to live with loads of cash stashed around his house. 3 robbers break in and try to steal from him. He turns out to be far more capable than the reclusive reputation he has around town. He brutalizes the robbers one by one while in his domain. One robber, Rocky, manages to escape. As the movie ends with Nordstrom planning his own revenge. But with Don't Breathe 2, we basically have nothing. Like, there's fake trailers, there's whatever, but there's no real
There's been fake
info.
trailers since the movie came out.
Yeah. But all we know is he's going to have moved to a remote cabin in the woods, and he cares for an orphan girl, a replacement for the daughter he lost before we met him in Don't Breathe, until people from her past come to collect her, not realizing who her adopted father is. There's no news on any of the plot details. What we can expect, though, is he's going to pull out his tactical skills and protect the girl as he creepily did in the original film. It's supposed to be set for August 2021 release.
Hopefully that stays true.
Yeah.
The Forever Purge will be the 5th and final installment of James.
Final.
Yeah, I highly doubt that.
I mean, they got a spin-off series that hasn't been canceled as far as I know.
And if they make money, they're not going to stop.
Or they'll wait 4 years and reboot it.
Yeah, just a sequel to the first one.
Yeah.
The Forever Purge will be the 5th and final installment of James DeMonico's The Purge franchise. The Forever Purge is one of the upcoming 2021 releases that we know the least about. No real teaser trailer has been released, and the plot details have been scarce. Other than DeMonico telling Entertainment Weekly that he'd come up with a really cool way to end this horror series, set in an America that allows a 12-hour window once a year where all crimes are legal, including murder, torture, and rape. Each installment of the Purge franchise has deepened in its social and cultural critique about the roots of violence, state-sanctioned crime, and social control via fear, so it should fit well coming off of 2020.
I had to make that comment, you know. There's Someone Inside Your House. It's based on Stephanie Perkins' novel. Patrick Bryce's adaptation of There's Someone Inside Your House will premiere on Netflix sometime in 2021. See, this is what I mean. Like, we couldn't give an exact date for a lot of these. The story focuses on Makani Young, a senior from Hawaii who transfers to Nebraska for her final year of high school. As if that trauma isn't enough, someone has been targeting folks around town, revealing their deepest secrets before killing them, causing multiple levels of havoc, in a small Midwestern community. Sounds good.
Sounds good. Yeah. All I got from the description earlier that I read was it's a slasher, and it's like, all right, I'm cool with that.
Sounds kind of screamish. And I know what you did last summer-ish.
Yeah, and Netflix does well with their movies.
Yeah, sometimes.
The ones I've actually sat down and watched, I've liked.
They've had some crap too, though.
Escape Room 2, Adam Rabidle?
Rabidle?
Okay. Escape Room capitalized on the new entertainment trend, of escape rooms, aka puzzle rooms, where participants solve clues in order to find their way out. However, in the 2019 film, the room turns out to not be a game at all, but rather a twisted experiment to see who's the fittest in a group of already traumatized survivors, most of whom die by the end. The whole affair is orchestrated by a figure named the Game Master, and by the end of the film, the two survivors have been accused of the Game Master's crimes, begin spying on the escape room organizers, waiting for their moment of revenge. Escape Room 2 stars Taylor Russell and Logan Miller as leads once again, suggesting the sequel will pick up where the first left off. Orphan actress Isabel Furman will join the cast along with India Moore. There's no release date announced yet, other than it will be the later half of 2021.
Run, Sweetheart, Run is based on a terrifying experience that the director, Shauna Festi, had that left her. She was sexually assaulted and ended with her running barefoot through the Hollywood Hills with no phone or wallet and forced to walk home to West Hollywood. Run, Sweetheart, Run takes that encounter to the next fictional level. Ella Bolinska stars with actor Pilu Asbeck as her date turned violent assaulter and stalker in the urban landscape of Los Angeles. Inspired by the social justice horror of Jordan Peele's Get Out, Festi wanted to heighten the daily misogyny that women deal with into the uber nightmare scenario of Run, Sweetheart, Run, which sounds like it's going to be a hit just based on the social warrior aspect,
right.
you know. It also will feature Amel Amin and Marvel's own Clark Gregg. The film premiered at Sundance to critical reception in 2019 and will be hitting Amazon Prime early 2021.
Awesome. Cool.
Now, those are the 10. And then there was some that we were like, well, we should mention.
We can't go without mentioning these, but there's no info, so what really can we do?
Right.
Well,
there's a lot of info on some
of them, but a lot less on some of them, right?
Like the one you're going to say first, I'm not looking forward to for the same reason as the Candyman thing bugged me, but anyway.
Halloween Kills. It's going to be a sequel to the 2019 sequel to the 1978 movie.
Yeah.
All
so
right.
it's the third in this version of what the series is?
Well, until we get 60 years down the line and we need another retcon that's only a
Either
sequel
that or
to
they're
going to
just reboot the ones that were done by
Rob
Zombie.
No, 60 years down the line, they're going to do a sequel to Resurrection and none of the others.
What do you know about this? Basically, I know that the first one was supposed to examine how that terror in the first one
left
affected her family.
her with trauma.
And now they're going to get more into the whole town and how Haddonfield was affected by it.
Yeah, she went kooky and started like doing a lot of looking into how to set traps and stuff, as you saw in the last one.
And you're going to see that the whole town has actually been affected, not just her family.
Right.
The next one we're going to mention is Paranormal Activity 7. Here's why we weren't going to get into a lot of detail on that. Some of them, like the first one, I loved. The second one, I loved. The third one, okay. And then there was a up and down here and there with the others. So the fact that this is the seventh one, I hope it's good.
Had nothing to do with it.
Well, no, they all do eventually. But anyway, the point is, hopefully it's good. But it's the seventh in a series, and I can't say that it's something that I'm strongly looking forward to.
The Ghost Dimension was trash. So,
what's the next one you got?
Kilroy was here. Originally a concept that was going to be an anthology. Now
it was going to be an anthology. Well, the trailer doesn't really say.
Right.
Originally, it was going to be an anthology about Krampus that was written by comedy writer Kevin Smith. He has been delving into spooky and horror and weird.
Yeah.
You know.
He's been doing.
He started that with what Red State was his first non.
And then he did
comedy.
Tusk, and he did Yoga Hosers,
which was more of a comedy.
More of a comedy, but it was still.
And there was still humor in Tusk, but it was creepy. It was. I still say Tusk was the friendly version of
Human Centipede.
Human Centipede, yeah.
Which is very true.
But anyway, he changed it instead of being Krampus because then Krampus movie came out in theaters, and he went, "Well, I can't do that now."
It's gonna sound like
he
I'm
switched
stealing
up
their
some
thing.
of the story for one of the anthology stories and did Kilroy. I don't know if it's still going to be an anthology. I know it's going to star a lot of his Smodco co-stars, like Ralph Garman's in it, and he's got a bunch of people from his other movies to come back. Jay Muse, stuff like that.
All right.
Everyone you would expect from Kevin
He
Smith.
gave us a.
Yep.
All right.
So, quickly, they're doing a Fear Street trilogy, one movie per month for 3 months on Netflix.
Sometime this year. There's a movie called Willy's Wonderland. Stars Nick Cage.
It's basically Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah, his car breaks down and he fights animatronics.
Last Night in Soho. We couldn't find a trailer, but it's supposed to be horror. It's by the guy who.
Some lady gets stuck in the 60s.
It's by the guy who did the Shaun of the Dead. I was trying to talk and you interrupted. Yeah, so there's time travel. We don't know how much horror it's going to be, but they said it's a horror movie. And Ghostbusters Afterlife looks like it's going to be a harder movie, more jump scares, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we're looking forward to that some, but there's not a lot of info if it's a horror or not. So.
Least and most anticipated. What's your least anticipated?
My least anticipated is going to be the new Halloween movie, personally.
Yeah. My least anticipated is probably going to be the Conjuring movie because I did not like...
But The Conjuring and Conjuring 2 were good. Some of the side ones aren't, but the Conjuring ones are. So,
I don't know. Like, I'm still going to give it a chance, but, you know.
And we both are looking forward the most to Spiral.
Well, spoiler alert, that's why we chose the trailer.
Yeah. So that's the one we're hoping turns out the best. But
yeah.
We'll probably be watching and reviewing all of these.
If not most, right.
Yeah.
So,
unless they're pushed back and we can't.
Bunch of stuff on the side of the screen. There it is. You can watch this show on Fact TV channel 1076, Thursday at 8:30 p.m. and Fridays at 7 p.m.
You can like us on Facebook, and when I say us, I don't just mean Gory Storytime, which you can, but also Fact TV. Check them out. They got live streams of a lot of stuff that they do, in episodes, shows, and whatnot.
Right. You can go to www.factdate.com. They put everything up there.
Yeah.
You can find any of the stuff that they do on their channel up there.
And you can follow us on Twitter. I'm at Craig Jakes, all lowercase, all one word.
I'm at Jason T. Jake 17, capital J, capital T, capital J, capital 17.
But he rarely uses that because instead he does one where he follows me and tweets random crap that comes out of my mouth. You can also go to the YouTube page of mine, which is Juggalo Jakes, all one word.
All lowercase.
Or you could also go to Fact
page.
TV's channel,
Yeah.
find episodes of this. On mine, you'll find music videos, bunch of other stuff. But that's about it.
Yeah. So, until next time, I'm your host, Jason.
I'm his co-host and father, Craig,
And sweet dreams.